For 75 years, the world-renowned Kinsey Institute, famous for its study of human sexuality, has been a distinguishing feature of Indiana University. But that connection could soon change, and Kinsey would be left to stand on its own. My colleague Ethan Sandwise joins us now for more. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Joe. The Indiana University Board of Trustees had planned to discuss separating from the Kinsey Institute at its meeting today, but shortly before the meeting was scheduled to begin, they decided to table the issue. All of this has happened really quickly, and faculty are pleading with IU administrators to consider the irreparable harm they could do not only to the institute, but to academic freedom. The Kinsey Institute has been controversial from its very beginnings when Indiana University professor Alfred Kinsey began studying and writing reports about human sexuality in 1947. There were even efforts early on to defund the institute by protesters pressuring donors to end their support and government officials seizing allegedly obscene materials. Each time, the university thwarted these attacks. 7 decades later, defunding became a reality when freshman Republican Representative Larissa Sweet pushed a successful amendment to cut any state funds for Kinsey. She claimed that Kinsey researchers are conducting sexual experiments on children.
Who knows what they're still hiding? Could they be hiding child predators?
Democrat Matt Pierce, who represents the district where Indiana University is located, says those false claims have been long debunked.
This amendment is based on old, unproven allegations of conspiracies that did not exist.
Most of the Institute's money comes from grants, and it receives around $2 million a year from the university. IU says any financial impact from the new state law is negligible. Even so, the university proposes splitting from the Kinsey Institute. The plan calls for making it a nonprofit that would operate without university money, although the Kinsey collections would remain at IU. It's a partial divorce that's generated a lot of protest. Recently, demonstrators, a group of researchers, Bloomington City officials, and students, gathered around a bronze statue of Alfred Kinsey on the university's campus. Freshman Kylie Brown says keeping the Kinsey Institute part of the university is important.
I think that we can't consider ourselves the same way if we got rid of the Kinsey Institute as part of IU.
The organizer of the protest, Jennifer Bass, worked at the Kinsey Institute for 20 years. She says the administration is simply caving to political pressure. She helped organize a petition drive and held a scroll containing the names of 5,500 people who opposed the plan.
Something has to be done. I appreciate that. It's too late to go back to the legislature and say, no, we don't want this bill. But I believe strongly that there are other ways to do that other than separating the institute.
Kinsey researchers like Professor Zoe Peterson say they weren't told about the proposal until 2 weeks ago, and they still have lots of questions.
It's really not clear to us, at least, that severing the Kinsey Institute from IU is necessary to ensure compliance with the law.
But protesters say it's not just about money, it's about academic freedom. IU Bloomington Provost Rahul Srivastava says he understands people feel uncomfortable with the plan, but splitting will ensure research will continue without violating the state law.
We are trying to make sure that the mission of Kinsey remains intact and we remain compliant with the law as it stands.
Claude Cookman, who served on the board of the Kinsey Institute for many years, says Kinsey needs outspoken support from the administration now more than ever.
The legislator who brought this bill has said she's still coming after Kinsey. They're not going to quit. So if whatever IU does in its relationship with Kinsey, IU itself is threatened by people like this.
So, Ethan, you have an update for us. Why did the trustees decide not to vote today?
It's hard to say. Until this morning, I thought they were going to vote. I was on my way to Indianapolis, and then I received word that they had tabled the vote. Allegedly, it's to give more time to revise this plan that they have. They've received a lot of pressure from petitions and things like that. Now, the chair of the Board of Trustees, Quinn Buckner, made a statement today. He said that against this backdrop and to permanently ensure the Kinsey Institute and its mission, Indiana University requires a mechanism to fund and operate the small piece of Kinsey Institute operations that have been supported through the university's general fund. And basically what he's saying there is they need some way to support the Kinsey Institute without directing potentially money from the state towards it. President Pamela Whitten of IU also spoke to this today. She said to Quinn Buckner, your decision this morning will provide us invaluable time to work together with our faculty, staff, with alumni and friends, and with other key stakeholders. We will consider how best to continue the legacy of the Kinsey Institute while complying with state law.
All right, Ethan, what's next?
Well, President Pamela Whitten says that she's going to get back to the drawing board with this, work this over with the legal counsel, folks at Kinsey and the provost, and they'll come up with another plan to hopefully ensure compliance while continuing the Kinsey Institute continues to do research. And the trustees will most likely discuss this at their next meeting in February.
All right. Thank you so much, Ethan. Appreciate your reporting.